let's get right to Michele Schneider, Director, Trading Education and Research at MarketGauge.com. Joining us today, I know you have some stock picks and some ETF picks for us today. I wanted to start with some names that people probably are talking about. I mean, Visa and Beyond Meat. Visa definitely could understand, and Beyond Meat is an interesting one. Tell us about those picks, Mish.
Well, let me first say, Nicole, that of course market conditions are going to influence the prices of these stocks in particular, because they have been weak and they're sort of floundering near support. So you have to kind of step back and make sure that the market's going to hold up here. That is always the caveat. But looking at the overall market right now, we're very mixed because we have some good intermarket relationships that are showing risk on, while at the same time we're drifting lower with, of course, earnings season, which is a good segue to Visa because this week is earnings for a lot of the financials and the banks, and that would have an impact probably on Visa to some degree, along with the macro. However, with that said, if we get through this period and we can stabilize, Visa's a good choice because I believe with all the supply chain issues that we have, as we get closer to the holidays, with people wanting to cut back potentially on what they spend for the holidays and also wanting to make sure that gifts get there on time and that whatever they want to order, like for example, Nike, which we know is in short supply, will actually get to the person that they're intended for. They may give a gift card. And Visa would be probably the #1 choice on that because it generally can buy everything. So we're looking at Visa to hold somewhere here around 220, 225. That would sort of be the risk point. And we can get back over 230 to 232, I think that could be a good trade.
Right, and a lot of people talk about Visa as as a global recovery when it gets underway. Seems to have paused for a moment, but that would be a good play. They look to fintech, they look to credit card companies, and a global presence would certainly be Visa. Beyond Meat is very interesting. In fact, it broke down below $100 a share. This was a name that was above $200 and has really sold off. Works on partnerships, and it's an exciting company and concept. I think the burgers taste great. And under $100 a share certainly seems like the lowest levels it's been at since we've followed it in some time.
Well, you really point out the trader's dilemma, which is having good, solid, fundamental reasons for doing something, but having to respect the technical analysis as well. And that's true. The chart has broken down. We've tested under 100. We went down to around 98, 70 there. And right now it's trading somewhere around 100 to 102. We have not touched it yet, but I am seriously stalking. Like you say, because from a fundamental standpoint, particularly with a lot of food shortages, and food's up, the highest it's been in 40 years. As a plant-based product, with a mega trend of also people switching more to plant-based products, not so easy to say, Beyond is really sort of the granddaddy. You have other companies, of course, but like everything, you always want to look at the premier company. So at this point now, we're watching and we're stalking. If we can get back over 104 to 106, I would have no hesitancies of getting into that stock and then risking to under the low. And that's kind of, to me, a perfect scenario is when you can like a company for multiple reasons, and you have a really good, not arbitrary risk, but a real good solid risk because it's the printable low that we've seen over the course of the market declining. But again, if the whole market collapses, so will that.
Okay. I know you have eHealth on there too. I'm going to skip it because I want to get to a couple of those ETFs and we're running out of time. I know you have an agriculture ETF, consumer staples. These are areas that you expect to see some growth?
Well, in terms of eHealth, so that's an online place where you go to buy medical plans. You can even get your Medicare packages there. And at the end of the year, often that does well because people start to shop for their medical plans for the following year. And also, if we get any kind of package from the government, whether it be a compromise one or whatever, I think this has been another stock that has floundered and is now emerging from a base. And so I like eHealth going forward. In terms of the ETF for food commodities, we've been looking at DBA, been long for a long time, but it's at a really interesting point. If it closes above 1950, considering all of the food commodities have gone way up, and as we know, food prices are high, I think you could see another leg up too. So we're trying to look at things that are emerging from bases or continuing out of consolidation, and those certainly fit the bill.
Yeah. And you had consumer staples there. All right, Michele Schneider, always wonderful to chat with you. We really appreciate it. Thank you for bringing us all those names. Great to see you. Michele Schneider, Director of Trading Education and Research there at marketgauge.com. Thanks, Michele. Have a beautiful day.
Thanks.